Okay, so I've had a couple of questions about skateboarding in general. One of my major questions that I've had this year is who's going to win Skater of the Year? And number two is where's Yuto been? And I think both of those questions kind of are getting solved right now. So, one, Yuto dropped a part the other day, right here, 2 days ago. In fact, he dropped a part. And from what I heard from watching the Nine Club and other stuff, that his final trick, which I'm not going to expose here, but his final trick was literally got like the day before they released the part or something like that. So that means that he's been working on this recently. If I had to guess, I think Yuto is going for Skater of the Year. He has a definite route to win it, considering he won the first Olympics ever, gold medal in the first skateboarding Olympics. And then on top of that, he also put out a part earlier, Yuto show, very, very good part. Really, really stellar skateboarding in there. And then he backs it up with a Spitfire part here in December 1st. Now, then I was thinking, oh, it's going to be between Mark Suchu and Yuto. They've both been putting out ridiculous parts. And I was saying that back when Mark Suchu only had two parts out, which was the Blue Dog Adidas part and the Curve part. And I was like, okay, between those two parts, that's a lot of skating. That's 3 minutes. That's 4 minutes. That's 7 minutes of skating already. There are skateboarders, and assuming that there is a skateboarding Hall of Fame, there are skateboarders that should be in the Skateboard Hall of Fame that don't even have 7 minutes of footage. And I think this all goes back to when Mark Suchu released the Verso part, which was a stellar part. If you haven't watched it, the skateboarding, watch it. What happens is every trick he does, it's verso. It's called like vice versa, like backwards, forwards. You know what that, you know? So every trick that he does forward, he also does backwards. In the, like, his first trick is his last trick, and it goes sort of like that, back and forth, back and forth. So it starts with the 50-50 grind, ends with the 50-50 grind. The only reason I'm talking about that is because it's like literally a conceptual skate part, which I've never even fucking heard about. Like, talk about conceptual album. This is a conceptual skate part, which then lost to Milton Martinez. To be fair, Milton Martinez did that sick fucking kickflip that broke his foot on it once already. Milton's a fucking nutcase. So, and then Milton ended up winning Skater of the Year. So then I feel like Mark went, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to be as productive as I possibly can. And he released two parts, and they were good parts. These two parts are good skateboarding parts. And I was like, all right, he's going for Skater of the Year again. And then he released his Spitfire part 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, that's three parts. Is that still better than Yuto? And I was like, nah, there's no way. Yuto won the Olympics and he put out two parts. There ain't no way. And then today he put out another part that's also good. The reason why I'm even talking about this is because I don't think I've ever seen this where a skater has put out this many quality parts in 1 year. Like 8 minutes of footage here on one part alone. Then he had a 5 minute part for Spitfire, 4 minute part, 3 minute part for the Curb Habitat. 3 minutes isn't that much, but it was a really banger of a part for 3 minutes, if I'm being honest. That he put out like a TV show worth of just skateboarding this year alone. I truly think he might be the most productive skateboarder I've ever fucking seen, and especially in 2021. Yuto, basically this video is me going to be talking about who I think is going to win Skater of the Year. I'm giving it to Mark Suchu, but only because he released this last part over here. Before this part, I was still giving it to Yuto, especially since Yuto had just released that banger of a part before. Side note, Yuto needs his own set of wheels. If Yuto gets some Spitfire wheels, I will buy those like post haste. If Yuto can get some Spitfire wheels, that'd be pretty lit. And I even really made a video about this because then I was like, I wonder like who else is thinking the way I'm thinking. And there's this guy. Oh shit. This guy is one of the people I'm going to talk about. But there's this guy, Gifted Hater, whatever, and he talked about it, and he thinks Mark Suchu is going to win. Essentially, whatever. That's cool. The only reason I mentioned it is because I was watching his stream, and then in the bottom, I saw over here it gave me a link to Tom Asta's stream. I'm like, Tom Asta? like that really fucking good skateboarder that we've seen on the barracks, Tom Asta. So I click it and it's him playing Skater Excel, talking, just chopping it up with like 30 people in there, just being fun and charismatic or whatever. I'm like, that's crazy. So I just started asking questions. I was like, yo, who do you think is going to win Skater of the Year? And he's like, look, I think it's Suchu. And from what I hear, he has another part coming. Then the next day, Suchu drops his next part. So that's I just wanted to talk about how I got advice from other guys too, just to see who they also think is going to win Skater of the Year. So I think general consensus is going to be Mark Suchu, because although Yuto did win the Olympics, I've never seen anyone put out this much footage, and it's not just like throwaway. There are decent lines. It's handrails, different trick selection, doing difficult tricks, dancing on rails. It is just truly their solid skateboard. If you're a fan of rail skating and all that shit, it's definitely there. Just some shit to add in as well. I asked Tom Asta his favorite. I asked him for his Mount Rushmore of skaters, and he said, at first he said 4 people was hard. So I said, look, dude, you could do 8. I just want to know like what skaters you like. I want to know like what's your favorite skater's favorite skater, essentially. Tom Asta is not my favorite skater, although I am a big fan of him. Very talented dude. And he said Reynolds, PJ Ladd, P-Rod, Costin, but like he had really tough trouble coming up with those. And then he was like, there's even Chris Cole, there's Rodney Mullen, who he didn't even mention. But one guy who he especially wanted to mention, who he would definitely put on his top 4 without a doubt, he said was Ashad Ware. I was like, that's crazy. How many people think Ashad Ware is so amazing? And that's not me saying that I don't think Ashad Ware is amazing. I think he's great, but his greatness is so amazing that everybody notices it. He's like, I know it might seem a little early, but Ashad is like so crazy good. He can skate everything. He never fucking falls while he's skating. It's insane to me. And then you watch the 9 Club, and Eldridge also says that he thinks that's the fucking MJ of skateboarding is Ashad Ware. And I actually really like Ashad. I get where they're all coming from. I completely agree. He's crazy. A fucking crazy, nuts, awesome skater. But all right. It is a new day. As you can tell, it's literally bright outside and I'm working. But I wanted to talk about some more stuff. Being that I'm worried Mark isn't going to win it. And I do think Mark deserves it. I'm not sure what's going to actually end up happening with that. Oh, fuck, I lost it. Okay. Now, the reason I'm even talking about this right now is I was looking at the Skater of the Year list. We'll go to Thrasher real quick. All right, so they made their list contenders for Skater of the Year. And I saw Raisa Leal on here. And I've always sort of thought that Thrasher didn't care about contests. But what else has Raisa done this year? What else has she even had time for? She's on April Skateboards as far as I know. I didn't see a April part anywhere on here. I checked the April YouTube. I didn't see an April part. No videos with Raisa in it, which means that they do care about contests, which is new for Thrasher for Skater of the Year. And what bigger contest is there than the Olympics? If Raisa got on here just based off like skating and contests, and Yuto won the biggest contest that there is for the next 4 years, because we won't have another Olympics for another 4 years, and he put out 2 banger parts, I'm worried that Mark Suchu might not stand a chance again, which makes me sad because I've never seen such productive skating in my entire life. I've never seen this many parts. Not even this many parts, this much time, because people have put out this many parts, but like this is a lot of very, very quality skating. I was going back and I was watching Yuto's part, and I saw that he was doing everything. He had a switch hill bomb that he did on there, and then fucking reverted in front of a car and went around it. And I was like, oh God. So he's going for the gnarly there. And then he did this street spot which I would love to see if they ever get a picture or another angle of it, where he skates up it, does I don't even know what it's called. Maybe I should just pull up the part. I'll just pull up the part. All this is great. All this is great. Here it is. So first, this. So you see, he still puts in his tech shit, and that wasn't a line, by the way. That was a switch, kickflip, tail slide, in a line. So showing that he still is doing like tech shit. So if you're interested in tech shit, there you go. Then there's this trick. I don't even know what it's fucking called. Insane on a street area doing park shit like that. So there's Gnar in here. If you're interested in Gnar, this is the switch hill bomb that I was talking about. And this is what Yuto has been doing. Well, we're worrying, where has he been at SLS? Where has he been at SLS? He's been fucking this shit up. I also asked one more skater. I found another skater on Twitch. Aaron Jaws Hamoki. If you don't know who that is, I'll type it in real quick. A very good skater, known for all of his drops and shit like that, where he jumps off the highest fucking drops here. This is the melon down the Leon 25. Still think it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. And I asked him, he was playing, I just saw him playing Tetris. It was in my fucking recommended again. It said Aaron Jaws Hamoki, and I said, it's that who I think it is. And I clicked it. He was in there playing Tetris, just chilling with like 20 people listening to techno music. And I asked him, who do you think? Well, first I asked him what was like his skateboard Mount Rushmore, because I asked Tom Master that, and he said Alex Chalmers, Burnquest. I don't actually know who this guy is, Dakota Carbalt. I'll have to look him up. But the only reason I mention this is because then he said Yuto Horigome. I was like, Yuto's in your Mount Rushmore, which I completely understand. You're more than allowed to have it. I was like, then I asked, which brought me to ask, hey, who's winning Skater of the Year? And he said, oh, Yuto. He said, yeah, Mark put out a lot of parts, but Yuto won the Olympics. Which then made me ask him again, does Thrasher care about contests? And he said, no, they don't really. You have a point there. But then he also said Yuto rides for Nike. They have a history of putting people on Nike. Not to mention that Yuto was wearing every Thrasher gear ever conceived in his parts. Like, so much of the stuff he was wearing was Thrasher and expensive ass Nike footwear. Like, look at that jacket. I have no idea how much that jacket costs, but I can't afford it. I can't afford it at all. I am super interested to see who wins this year. I would like Mark to win just because of the amount of shit that he's put out in like actual fully street skating. But if Yuto also gets it, I would completely understand. But it's just another year where Mark is up against someone so hard to beat. Last time it was when he was up against Milton, and in this case, I'm not sure. I feel like maybe Mark does this on purpose. Like, he doesn't just want to win Skater of the Year. He wants to win it and know that he really deserved it. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like when you play a basketball team and you beat them. You don't want to beat them at their worst. You want to beat them at their absolute best. And that's what I sort of that's how I see what Mark is doing here. He's putting himself head to head up against Yuto, and he has a fighting chance. Definitely, like, I feel like he wants his Skater of the Year to matter, and that's the only reason why I would think that he would do this, because he could hold on to this footage and put it at any year that doesn't have a fucking Olympics. Like, literally, if Yuto didn't win the Olympics, it wouldn't be a question. Mark all day, every day, get that man a shoe, get that man a wheel, get that man a specialty truck, and it's done. So that's why I just wonder, like, if he's like, is this on purpose? Is he purposely putting himself in challenging situations to win Skater of the Year? But that's all right. If he wins it, that would mean that, like, it more even matters, you know, like, it really, really mattered to him. But yeah, that's all I got going on. I'm done with that. I don't know what's gonna win Trick of the Year. It could be Yuto's thing, But I just wanted to say what my trick of the year is, real quick. What I think was the fucking, like, look at this shit. Not this. Right there. As a nollie for a backside heel flip. Just in the middle of a montage, too. Just they threw a fat nollie backside heel. It was a really, and it was done nicely. The style was lit. Landed as perfect as you pretty much could. Kept going straight. Got the fuck out of there. And this was in a zero skateboards painkiller video, which isn't even on YouTube. It's only on the Thrasher website, I guess. And I fucking hate this Thrasher web player or whatever. And the quality of the video, like literally the visible quality, looks so bad. I don't know if like they're trying to do VX to make it just like old school or whatever, but you can stop it. You can stop it. That's all I wanted to say about this. It's just that this was a really lit trick, and I don't think a lot of people are going to see it for two reasons. One, it's on the Thrasher website. Two, it's on the Thrasher website. Two, it's in the middle of like a montage of just amazing tricks. So like if you're not paying attention, you might not notice that was a fucking nollie heel flip, the nollie backside heel flip. That was crazy. That was nollie backside 360 heel. Either way, it was sick. Super sick. And that was done by good old Forrest Edwards. It's also super. I like Forrest. He's lit. I don't know if he's actually on Zero or not, but I recognized him immediately when I saw him, and that was nice to see that he's still skating and just doing fucking crazy shit. So I think that's all I got. I just wanted to mention that because I don't think that's gonna get a lot of shine, but I do really like that trick. He did really fucking well, and it was just like, and you keep watching. They just don't even mention it. That's Forrest right there. Great trick. Great job. This was actually a pretty good video. I just felt it was a bit long, just because there was a lot of slams in this video. They spent a lot of time showing people just get fucked up, which might be the name. It's called Painkiller. But like I was like starting to cringe because I don't actually like seeing people slam and get hurt like that. That's rough for me. So honestly, that might be the point of the video. That's all I got.